Oh, they're popping in, Michael.
All right, beautiful.
Beautiful.
So welcome to our webinar, From Trades to Schools, How Lived Experience Strengthens School Counseling Practice. You'll see some notes here. Mute your audio. Keep your phone, computer audio muted whenever you're not speaking to prevent background noises. If you have a question, put it in the chat box. We'll answer your questions either during the meeting or at the end. We're recording the webinar. I'm not reading this.
May I
Gail, would you like to introduce our presenter?
good evening, counselors from Buffalo to Brooklyn. I am Dr. Gail Reed Barnett, the chair of the PD committee. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. Our president, Mary Finizak, our president is on board. We have a couple of board members that are part of the PD committee. Dr. Kathy Corbett that I can see. So far. Again, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. And if you get the opportunity, can you just say where you're from in the chat? Thank you. Our host for this evening, our presentation is facilitated by Dr. Michael Cantillano. Did I pronounce it correctly, Michael?
You're on point. You're good.
Okay. He is a school counselor, a high school counselor, and he is the 2025 New York State School Counselor of the Year. Yay! He brings prior experience from the skilled trades into his counseling practice with a focus on career development, experimental learning, and strengthening counselor impact through real-world perspectives. Dr. Cantillano works closely with community partners and CTE programs to support student engagement and post-secondary readiness. Dr. Michael, take it away.
Dr. Reed Barnett, thank you so much for the introduction and to the leadership team. I'm truly glad to be here with everyone this evening. I want to start out by expressing my deep gratitude to the New York State School Counselor Association for their unwavering leadership in fostering high-quality professional learning across New York State. It's truly inspiring to see so many dedicated professionals, practice and school counselors, counselor educators, and graduate students investing their time and energy advancing their practice. Your work is invaluable. The title, From Trades to Schools, is literally my story. I want to use that journey this evening to help you think differently about the students sitting in front of you. Our focus will be strengthening career advising through language, reflection, and student-centered exploration grounded in real-world experiences you navigate each and every day. I'm excited to explore these topics together. Having some technical difficulty here.
Yeah, your picture went away.
What's that?
We don't see you anymore.
Okay, somebody disappeared on you somehow. Do you see me now?
Nope.
Michael, I see your name as one of the participants. There you go. You're starting to share. Great.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yes, so I had some technical difficulty. All right, so it's showing on there.
Here we go.
All right, you can still see me there?
You can see your screen with the PowerPoint. We can't
Okay,
see
it's
my-
showing now, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that glitch, everyone. Have some computer issues, but hopefully it's resolved. I am operating out of my office in my school district, and sometimes our bandwidth is a little questionable. Okay, so Bob, you can still see me? Fine.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, so all right. So before we get started, cameras on or off, you're welcome either way. What matters is that you're here. Please keep your chat open throughout. I'll be asking you to use it regularly. We have 4 interactive activities. Your input makes this session better for everyone. You can use Zoom reactions, thumbs up, raise your hand, and to respond to quick questions. Before we dive in, I want to give you a quick map of where we're heading tonight so you can settle in and know what to expect. We'll open with a bit of my own story, why I care about this work and what brought me from the trades into a counseling office. From there, we'll look at the problem together, the career exploration gap, what the data tells us, and what we're actually seeing in our students. Then we'll spend some time on our roles as counselors, specifically a framework I call fit over hierarchy. That I believe is a foundation of equitable career advising. The heart of the session is the language section. We'll look at the phrases we use every day that unintentionally signal hierarchy and practice replacing them with something better. After that, we'll explore the role of experience and reflection in career development and how we as counselors can serve as connecting, interpreting, and advocating. And we'll close with 3 concrete actions you can take starting tomorrow. Now, no new programs. I know a lot of folks are like, I don't want a new program. You got no new resources, just simply better practice. Okay, so let's talk here about my background. My background is a licensed master electrician, where I still run a small contracting business combined with my 20 years as a school counselor gives me a unique lens. My career path hasn't been linear. From apprentice to electrician to business owner to counselor to doctoral student, these experiences aren't competing. They're deeply shaped how I understand our students. For the past 28 years, I've applied this perspective to help students see that many valid and honorable paths can lead to a good living and positive societal contributions. One of the most rewarding experiences has been volunteering with Ulster County OC's electrical students, wiring new homes for Ulster County Habitat for Humanity. Over 6 years, we've wired 11 homes, giving students complete real-world experience and allowing them to discover their capabilities while serving the community. My journey isn't special, but it's taught me that our lived experiences profoundly shape the possibilities we see for our students. Reflect on your own journey. Every path, whether traditional or non-traditional, adds a layer of depth to your counseling practice. Your lived experiences serve as a bridge to understanding the diverse realities of our students and what they face daily. Authenticity is a tool. When you share parts of your own story, you model vulnerability and build genuine trust with students who may feel marginalized by narrow definitions of success. Reframing your background. View your nonlinear experiences not as a deviation from a professional norm, but as assets that broaden your perspective and enable you to validate career pathways that textbooks alone cannot capture. Mindful advise and consider how your personal trajectory might influence your biases. By being aware of your own path of least resistance, quote unquote, we can better ensure we are opening door for students that align with their unique strengths rather than just our own. The message to students, your story, with all of its challenges and detours, is your superpower. When we own our own narratives, we empower students to do the same, helping them see that there is always a valid way forward. The slide invites us into some honest self-reflection, and I want to frame it as an act of professional growth, not criticism. Confirmation bias is something we all carry. When we've seen a particular pathway lead to success, whether that's a 4-year college degree, a trade, or military service, we naturally look for evidence that confirms it's the right path. That shapes what we emphasize in conversations with students. When we know best is equally powerful, the paths that feel most real to us are the ones we personally witnessed or experienced. If you've never seen someone thrive as a welder or a dental hygienist, that path may feel less concrete to you while advising students, even if the data shows otherwise. And blind spots in practice are the natural result. We may present some paths with more enthusiasm, more detail, more follow-up, simply because they feel more familiar. Students pick up on that energy. The goal here isn't to eliminate our lived experience, it's to make it conscious. When we name the bias, we can choose to act beyond it. This isn't just a philosophical conversation, it's an ethical one. The American School Counselor Association ethical standards are explicit. We are responsible for recognizing and avoiding stereotyping, and for being attuned to the role of multiculturalism and diversity in our work. That standard applies directly to career advising. When we unconsciously steer students towards pathways that mirror our own experience or away from the ones we don't fully understand, we are not meeting our ethical obligation to every student. Ongoing self-reflection is the practice. I'd encourage you to ask yourself regularly, am I presenting this pathway with the same energy and detail as the one I personally took? Am I following up equally? Am I advocating equally? Equitable advocacy means that a student interested in cosmetology deserves the same depth of counseling conversation as a student applying to Cornell. Same curiosity, same research, same enthusiasm. The core message I want to convey this evening is that students can only aspire to what they've been exposed to and what they see valued. This means many fulfilling paths, like skilled trades, often go unexplored simply because students aren't aware of them or don't see them presented as a respected option. Without broad exposure to different careers, students might settle for what feels like an acceptable option, even if it doesn't align with their true strengths or interests. In more concerning cases, talented students can become disengaged when they perceive their options are too limited. It's crucial for us to reflect on our own biases and to ensure we present all pathways with equal dignity and enthusiasm. By doing so, we significantly expand what students believe is possible for their future, just as powerful quote on the slide emphasizes. I want to discuss what we call the career exploration gap, the space between what students need and the career guidance they're actually getting in high school. A significant statistic is that 4 out of 5, or 80%, tell us they want more career exploration opportunities than they currently receive. This isn't a small group. It's the overwhelming majority of students, signaling that we need to do a better job to meet their needs. Let's look at some key data points to understand this gap further. First, 82% of students already are exploring careers on their own, showing their inherent interest and motivation. However, most indicate they still need more structured guidance. Second, we see that 30% of college students change their major within 3 years, a figure that jumps to 52% in STEM fields. This represents significant disruptions in time, finances, and academic momentum. And third, only 53% of current college students would choose the same major again, meaning nearly half wish they had made a different choice if they could go back. What this tells us as counselors and educators is that students are making some of the life's biggest decisions, like college majors, career paths, and financial investments, without enough information or prior exploration. Our collective role is to help close this gap, equipping them with better guidance before they embark on these critical life stages. All right, let's kick off with a quick Think, Chat, Share activity to get us all reflecting on our own experiences. First, for the next 2 minutes, I want you to silently think about this question. What is one career pathway you didn't know existed when you were in high school? Really reflect on those career paths you've since discovered. Ones you wish you'd known about earlier. After the silent thinking time, please type your response in the chat. Try to be specific. For example, genetic counselor rather than healthcare. Then I'll read several of your responses aloud, and we'll discuss the pattern we see together as a group. Okay, so we have some interesting ones coming from fellow school counselors. They didn't realize school counseling existed, which is interesting because that was my answer as well. We've got some behavioral treatment analysis, mental health counselors. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, some hands-on trades. Okay, trades. Jolie, thank you. Social workers. Do we see any common themes going on here? Okay, mental health in the trades. Okay, psych nurse. All right. In non-traditional careers. All right, interesting. Very interesting. Mental health. Patricia, I like that comment. Interesting. Okay, so any common themes that you see from this? Anyone?
It seems as though these are help professions. They want to help others.
They definitely look like a big chunk of it exclude. Well, even with the hands-on, want to help in a different way, but it is all in the helping professions to some degree. One thing that I put down here is that, as I look through all of these, I read through all the answers, I notice the common theme that these are careers that weren't on your radar screen in high school. And that's exactly what our students are experiencing right now. This is the core philosophy of our session tonight, prioritizing fit over hierarchy. Remind yourself that your job is not to rank pathways or steer students toward a singular definition. Instead, your role is to help students discover what aligns with their unique strengths, interests, and personal goals. We must uphold the belief that every path Whether it leads to the trades, a four-year college, the military, entrepreneurship, or apprenticeship, possesses, and I underscore, equal dignity. By embracing this, we move away from the prescribing paths and toward empowering students to uncover their own best fit. We're consistently seeking academically strong students, we're consistently seeing academically strong students excel in class, but show a real lack of enthusiasm when it comes to post-secondary planning. They often exhibit what I call quiet, perplexing resistance, seemingly unsure of where they fit or what comes next. Many explicitly say, I don't see where I fit. That's a signal we need to take seriously. Underneath the disengagement is something important. Many students struggle to genuinely see themselves in the pathways we present. Pathways can feel foreign or unattainable, not because students lack ability, but because they lack representation and cultural connection. What looks like defiance is often self-protection. Students disengage when they can't envision themselves succeeding. The critical takeaway: even a perfectly valid pathway becomes irrelevant if a student cannot imagine walking it with dignity and purpose. Our responsibility is to ensure every student can see themselves reflected in the options we offer. Students are at a critical juncture, exploring their interests, strengths, and values as they begin to think seriously about life after high school. As school counselors, we play a vital role in guiding that self-discovery. We help students uncover their unique talents and passions, often before they can name them themselves. We also facilitate unbiased career exploration, exposing students to a wide range of options and opportunities they may never have considered on their own. And the data on our impact is compelling. Look at Mulhern's 2020 Harvard study found that schools with active counselor career advising see 2 times higher career and technical education and vocational program enrollment compared to schools without a dedicated counselor involvement. That's not a small effect, that's transformational. That's the case for why this work matters and why the skills we're building tonight have real documented impact. Here is the core commitment that drives everything we do as counselors. Our role is not to sort students into categories or rank their futures. It's to empower them. We open doors, not close them. We help students build a future, not assign them. This philosophy should not guide every conversation, this philosophy should guide every conversation we have with students about their next steps. Here I want to highlight the benefits of prioritizing student fit over traditional academic hierarchies. When we move behind just directing students to top-tier universities and instead explore diverse post-secondary pathways aligning with their interests, it fosters deeper engagement. Validating varied career interests and connecting students with mentors in unconventional fields builds trust and respect, making students feel valued for who they are. Emphasizing personal growth, skill development, and values alongside academic metrics supports equity and honors the unique potential in every student. The traditional sorting approach can be limiting, but our fit over hierarchy approach opens possibilities, helping students identify environments where they can truly thrive. I'll be displaying two cases, one at a time. For each one, take 1 to 2 minutes to consider how would you approach a student using a fit over hierarchy mindset. Share your thoughts by typing in the chat or unmuting to speak, whichever you prefer. I'll highlight some key responses and we'll discuss emerging pattern as a group. We have approximately 3 to 4 minutes for this activity. So please review case study A with Sarah. Sarah's a high-achieving junior with 95 average. Her parents expect her to apply to a competitive four-year universities. Recently, she mentioned interest in dental hygiene program at the local community college. She seems anxious and hasn't brought it up again. So the big discussion question is, what language would you use to open this conversation? How would you address her? Okay, those are some very good answers. Okay, these are all good answers. Do we see a pattern here with these responses? One theme I see with these responses is you're not making anyone wrong, which is very important in our practice. Great comments, everyone. Sarah's likely caught between what she wants and what her family expects. That anxiety you're seeing, it's real. She brought it up once and then went quiet. That tells us everything. Open with curiosity, something like, I remember you mentioned dental hygiene. Can we talk more about that? Or it sounds like you have a lot of people weighing in. What does your voice say? And a lot of you commented in reference to that, bringing her voice out. Avoid anything that reinforces the hierarchy, like, but with your grades, you can go anywhere. That shuts the conversation completely down. I love responses that lead with curiosity. Those are the ones that build real trust. And you all are doing a great job with your comments. Okay, now we're going to move to our case study B, Mike. Different situation. Mike struggled academically freshman and sophomore year, but has shown significant growth in hands-on CTE classes. He's excited about a welding apprenticeship opportunity, but his teachers keep telling him he should try college first. How would you approach validating his interests while exploring the right fit for him. How would you help Michael? I like your supporting comments to Michael. So invite him to our annual trades career fair. Connect him with contacts from unions, apprenticeship, trade schools to explore pathways into welding. It's an exceptional option. Great point, Eve. And we need to all be careful as counselors on our experiences where we don't use it in the wrong way, and it's easy to do. So that reflection is important, that we check ourselves. Okay. Very interesting comments. Good comments. Angela, that's exceptional. Get the kids involved in some experiential experiences. Okay, that looks good. Okay, I think everyone's on pace here. Angela, that's something we should all do, is look at the data and see even, what the occupational handbook and other sources out there say on the entire, career. That's a good visual. It's good time to talk with kids and look at that, dead options. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. All great responses. All great responses. Mike likely feels like his hands-on skills don't count. He's been told directly and indirectly that college is the only right path. That message is terrible. Start by affirming his passion, something like, it sounds like you're genuinely passionate about welding. Tell me more about this apprenticeship. Let him lead. Help him reframe his CTE success as a real strength. Share the data, as was mentioned. Some folks have said the importance of data. Welding and skilled careers are well paying, in demand, and respected. Avoid anything that positions college as something he should try first. That frames his actual interest as a fallback. Take his interest seriously, connect him with tradespeople, alumni has been mentioned, or program contacts who can make it real for him. The strongest responses here validate his passion first and treat the apprenticeship as a destination, not a detour. So, giving him support and not making him wrong and giving him options to explore things is key. I agree. Dr. Reed Barnett, you're on point. You know, we have to meet the kids where they are and not judge them, and just, you know, take that ride with them and try to encourage them to explore different things until they figure out their true fit. All right, well, we're going to move forward. As counselors, we already know this, but it's worth saying out loud. The words we choose shape how students see themselves and what they believe is possible for them. Every phrase we use either opens a door or quietly closes one. That's not an exaggeration. Students internalize our language sometimes for years. So as we move into this next section, I want us to be really intentional, not just about what we say, but how we say it, because our language is one of the most important, most powerful tools we have. On this card, I want you to highlight some common phrases we use that, despite our best intentions, can unintentionally signal a hierarchy or limit students' aspirations. While these phrases are often well-meaning, students can interpret them as implying they aren't good enough for a certain path or that some options are inferior. It's so important for us to be mindful of the language we choose because it truly shapes our students' experiences and perceptions, even when that's not what we intend. Let's take a look at a few examples of these phrases and discuss their potential impact. The goal here is simple, replacing limited language with phrasing that puts a student at the center. Every word we choose either opens a door or quietly closes that door. Instead of asking, what's your backup plan? Try, let's explore what fits for you and how do we build on it? One question invites doubt, the other invites possibility. Instead of non-college pathways, say multiple routes to success. The framing matters. When we lead with what something isn't, we've already signaled a hierarchy. Instead of you should probably consider, ask what feels like a good next step for you. We shift the prescribing to collaborating. Instead of that's more realistic for you, try how can we best support your journey toward that goal? One phrase limits, the other builds. Instead of, and this one I hear a lot, and I'm sure you guys can relate. Ladies and gentlemen, you can relate. College isn't for everyone. I hear that one a lot. In my career, I've heard that a ton of times. Let's explore what environment helps you thrive. It's a subtle shift, but students need to hear the difference. And instead of alternative options, here are some pathways, each with real value and opportunity, because they are. None of these routes are lesser, they're just different, and our language should reflect that. All right, you've seen how powerful a simple word can be. Now I want you to try it yourself. We're going to do a quick reframe challenge together in the chat. Okay, you ready? We're going to get going. We'll be going through 2 scenarios total, one at a time. Take 1 to 2 minutes to think about how would you reframe the counselor's response using fit-centered language. Type your reframed response in the chat. I'll read some responses out loud. 2 scenarios, one at a time. Type your reframe in the chat. I like the comments of taking interest in the student and what they really would like to learn more about. All positive remarks and supportive. Love it. Great comments.
I just wanted to say that one thing that you've done, which is I knew to reframe, but when you talked about making the connection with your personal experiences more, I refer to my life, but like with this example, my siblings and them are electricians, and I thought of what you said earlier, take your personal experiences and connect it to the student. So that's also helpful.
As long as we have our lived experiences and we have it under control where things don't go astray, it can be a very powerful tool to propel the student. So, we need to embrace our lived experiences. And many times folks will think that it's a negative. It can be a negative, but harnessed well, it can be a big strength. All great comments, and I'm going to move forward. Oh, I like the last comment. It says, I love that for you. You'll make more money than some of your friends and without all the debt. That's interesting and very true. Than a lot of the vocations anyway. Let me pull this up here, and we are going to go to a different case. Going to challenge you again. Great comments. Yeah, parent involvement is very important. Angela, parents are a big piece of the puzzle here, so they need to definitely be part of the conversation. Gail, meeting Dr. Reed Barnett, meeting the student where they're at. Um, Toria, good comment. There's just because someone goes down one path doesn't mean that they can't go down another one at a later time, which is very true. And many of us are in a non-linear trajectory, and then we eventually land in a good place. So that can be very norm. Great comments. Great comments. I put, that makes total sense. There's no rule that says you have to go to college right away. Let's explore what feels right for you. What are you interested in? There are so many strong pathways, gap years, apprenticeships, community college, workforce programs. Let's find what fits your goals and your timeline. Psychological safety is the foundation of effective counseling. It is not merely a soft skill, but the absolute prerequisite for every meaningful conversation. Students will only share their true interests, fears, and authentic goals when they feel genuinely safe. As counselors, we create that virtual safety through the intentional use of non-judgmental language, active listening, and validating all pathways. When students feel their perspective is honored without bias, they are empowered to engage more deeply and take full ownership of their future decisions. Let's discuss the real measurable value of career and technical education, or CTE, in every pathway. The data tells us a compelling story that often surprises people, showing CTE credentials can pay over $10,000 more per year than other associate degrees. That isn't a small difference over a career. That gap compounds into major financial advantage for students. In fact, some CTE credentials actually outpace baccalaureate degrees in terms of earning potential. This often misunderstood fact means like nursing, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, electrical work, and so forth, can command salaries matching or exceeding those of many four-year graduates. Students who complete CTE programs in high schools don't just secure jobs faster, they also achieve higher employment rates and stronger median earnings 8 years later. These paths offer strong financial outcomes without the burden of a four-year college debt, providing a significant head start. Ultimately, the core message is that all, I underscore all, pathways hold value when they align with a student's individual strengths and interests. We recognize that college is valuable, but it's crucial to acknowledge it's not the only valuable path for every student. This leads us to what we call the fit over hierarchy framework, where no path is inherently superior to another. What truly matters is aligning a student's abilities, interests, and goals with the opportunities each pathway provides. When this alignment exists, students truly thrive, and we, as counselors, can play a vital role in helping them discover that perfect fit. One of the most powerful things we can do as counselors is name what we see explicitly, specifically, and out loud. Many students, especially those from underrepresented backgrounds and non-traditional pathways, have never had an adult in a professional setting tell them, hey, what you just did, that skill, that has a name and it has value. Uncovering hidden strengths means looking beyond the transcript. The student who works 20 hours a week at a grocery store is demonstrating reliability, customer service, time management, and stress tolerance. The student who cares for a younger sibling is demonstrating responsibility, empathy, and organizational skills. We need to say that out loud. Connecting experience to opportunity is the bridge. When we help a student see that their love of fixing things maps to engineering, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, or industrial technology, or their ability to calm down maps to counseling, nursing, or conflict resolution, we expand what they believe is possible. And validation as a counseling tool is not soft work. Research on self-efficacy, Bandura's foundational work, tells us that belief in one's own capability is one of the strongest predictors of whether a student will pursue and persist in a pathway. When we name strengths, we believe, or we build that belief. That is where our lived experience becomes a superpower. We can recognize skills in students that others might overlook because we've lived outside the traditional academic lane ourselves. Counselors do not need to build large, complex programs from scratch. Instead, your role is to be the bridge, connecting students to curiosity to existing community experiences. Think of your role as a curator of opportunity, job shadows, informal interviews, community mentors, and local CTE programs are all tools in your kit to expose students to the real world. When we help students move from theory to practice, we demystify careers and make future pathways feel attainable. Your primary job is to facilitate that first spark of connection, getting the student into the room where the work happens so they can see themselves in that role. By acting as the connector between students' interest and the real world exposure, you turn abstract career goals into concrete lived experiences. The slide outlines the key responsibilities of our partners versus our essential contribution as counselors. Our partners are responsible for developing new programs, managing logistics, coordinating learning placements, and leading CTE operations. They are not our district responsibility. Our essential contributions are to connect students to existing opportunities, facilitate reflection conversations, champion student-centered decisions, and guide students in processing their learning experiences. By clearly defining these roles, we can safeguard our capacity as counselors and focus on providing impactful student support. The goal is to leverage our unique counseling expertise to complement the operational work of our partners. As a school counselor, I see myself as a vital connector, linking students to resources and opportunities they need to succeed. I also act as an interpreter, guiding students to understand their experiences, explore their choices, and make informed decisions. Most importantly, I am an advocate, championing the voices and individual needs of students I work with, ensuring their unique perspectives are always heard. Through these three key functions, connecting, interpreting, and advocating, I strive to support the holistic development and well-being of every single student in my care. As counselors, we understand that simply having experiences doesn't automatically lead to self-awareness or clarity about career paths. That's why structured reflection is so critical. It's the key to truly unlocking the impact and lessons from those experiences. Through guided reflection, which we facilitate, students can deeply interpret their experience and navigate their future with greater purpose and clarity. This process provides invaluable insights for their personal growth and professional development. This evening, I want to share 3 immediate practices we can all use to strengthen our advising conversations. It's important to remember that these are not new programs or resource-heavy initiatives. They are simple shifts in our daily practice. I encourage you to pick just one of these 3 actions and commit to it for the rest of this week, whether it is auditing your language, identifying a student's connection, or centering a reflection. Start small. Change truly starts with a single conversation. You will be surprised at how small language shifts and the inclusion of intentional, reflective questions can fundamentally charge a student's trajectory and sense of purpose. Remember, we don't need formal approval to improve our practice. We can strengthen our counseling impact starting with our very next student interaction. I'd like to give you 2 to 3 minutes now for some silent individual reflection. You can choose one of the options presented on the slide or design your own specific action. Optionally, feel free to type one word in the chat that represents your commitment, like language, reflection, or exposure. Please know that both sharing your commitment and holding it privately are equally valuable. I strongly encourage you to write down your commitment, be specific about it, and perhaps share it with a colleague for accountability. We've covered a lot of ground tonight. Bias, language, case studies, reframes, data, reflection, but I want to close by bringing it back to the student. The quote on this slide is the one I carry with me. The student who can't see themselves in any pathway you've shown them, that's a student who needs you most. That student isn't disengaged. They're waiting for someone to show them a door that they didn't know existed. My own story is proof of that. I didn't start as a counselor. I started as an apprentice electrician. I wired houses in commercial buildings. I ran a small contracting business. And somewhere along the way, I found my way into counseling office and realized that everything I've done before made me better at this work, not less qualified. That's the message I hope you take home tonight. Your story, whatever it is, it's not a detour. It's a resource. See every student, not the GPA, not the family expectation, not the label, the person. Name what you see. Say it out loud. Be specific. Be generous. Trust the process. Fit-centered counseling is harder than sorting students into categories. It takes more time, more curiosity, more courage, but it's the work that actually changes lives. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for doing this work. And thank you to the New York State School Counselor Association for creating the space for conversations like this one. This slide contains all the research and sources that are grounded in tonight's session. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone here tonight, school counselors, graduate students, educators, and all of our attendees. As we close, remember the message on this slide. Your unwavering dedication truly empowers every student to envision a future of boundless possibility. You are truly shaping destinies. I encourage you to reflect on the one commitment you've made earlier in the session and carry it into your practice. Questions, you can just drop them in the chat, or you can unmute your microphone to share. Thank you for your time, your energy, and the critical work you do. If you have any follow-up questions, you're always feel free to contact me. And thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Michael, for that wonderful presentation.
Oh, thank you.
And as you were talking, I was smiling a lot because this is how I teach my students. And it's just, we're on the same path. We're on the same, the positive road as we're teaching students, whether they're in high school or in a graduate program.
Well, thank you for the kind words. Thank you for everyone who showed up and, evening time and to try to learn. I'm always learning from all of you too. It's a pleasure just to be with you all.
Thank you so much for sharing this, Michael.
Oh, you're welcome.
So now we've had a presentation from Dr. Michael. I just want to share with you real quick, our NISCA annual conference is November 11th through the 13th, 2026. Our theme for this year, all students, many paths. If you have any
I love the title. I love it. It like dovetails with a lot of my thinking, you know, so it's a natural muscle. It's, you know.
Yes, it's going to be at Turning Stone, Verona, New York, a very lovely, lovely place to be. We were there a couple of years ago and we had a lot of fun. So we hope to see each and every one of you. I would also kindly ask that you tell your colleagues about what we do, the Professional Development Committee. And even though we may send out an invitation to you and you respond, it's always good to send it out to people that you personally know as well, because everybody on here knows a school counselor. And it's good to give them the information as well. As I said before, our president, Mary, is here. If you'd like to say a couple of words.
Just want to thank everyone for coming. I think one of the best things NISCA does is provide valuable professional development opportunities for counselors practicing in the field. And no matter how many years you've practiced as a school counselor, this opportunity tonight to reflect on those practices and remember our words and the impact of them is so powerful. So I appreciate everyone joining tonight. And I hope you continue to follow NISCA on social media, in our community, on the website for NISCA members, and hope to see you all again at the next professional development.
Nancy DeStefano, our executive director, if you would like to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Dr. Michael Catalano, for presenting tonight, and thank you everyone who joined us. I think Mary summed it up very nicely about all the professional development opportunities and taking advantage of that and sharing it with other school counselors. So have a great evening. Thank you for attending.
And our operations manager who does all the tech work, Dr. Rotondo.
Nothing new to add. Thanks for coming.
Yes, hopefully we'll see each other at our next presentation, which you will get shortly. And thank you everyone that came. And happy Women's Month to all you wonderful women.
Thank you, everyone. It was great, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Corbett.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you for all your help
I'll be in touch,
with all
Michael.
the logistics. Without